Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video we are going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 35-22 win versus the Atlanta Falcons. So guys, without further ado, let's talk about it. A 35-22 win. Like, I don't remember the last time the Buccaneers won a game and it didn't make us sweat. Like, overall, it was a pretty chill game. I mean, if you guys were there for the live stream where I reacted live to this game, we were having a blast. We were talking about Thanksgiving, which, to everybody watching this video, happy upcoming Thanksgiving to all of you. But yeah, it was just a really fun time overall. Pretty, stress-free kind of game. It was weird. I don't remember the last time this has happened in a Buccaneers game. Like, I genuinely don't. If you guys want to remind me of when the last time the Buccaneers had a relatively stress-free win, hey, why don't you let me know down in the comment section below. That would be greatly appreciated. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for all of the likes and all the comments you guys leave on the videos as of late. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'm seriously greatly appreciative of it. But without further ado, let's get started about talking about some of the bad from this game. And honestly, there's not a whole lot. This was a pretty complete game overall by this team, but there were some things I do want to point out. The first thing is this: is the Buccaneers field goal unit struggled bad today. Matt Gay missed 3 extra points today, 2 of which he pretty much missed in the same exact fashion. It was weird. Both of them literally went wide left. I mean, not too wide left even, but they pretty much went wide left in the same exact spot as the point I'm trying to make. So that was weird. And then on the third extra point that he missed, it was just flat out blocked, almost returned for 2 points by the Atlanta Falcons. So yeah, I don't know what was going on today with the Buccaneers field goal unit. I don't know if the snapping was off. I don't know if the holding was off. I don't know what it was, but they struggled a little bit in terms of their extra points. Now, I'm not worried about Matt Gay under any circumstances. He still nailed his field goal when he needed to, and he still made 2 extra points as well. But it did stink that he did have to miss 3 extra points today, but honestly, guys, I'm not worried about it moving forward. Matt Gay has been absolutely phenomenal since that New York Giants game back in, I believe, week 3, and he's been really stellar since then. So, yeah, a little bit of a hiccup in today's game, but I'm honestly not that worried about it. Last 2 points I want to talk about here on the negatives are some missed opportunities from both the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about the defense first, okay? Dropped interceptions sucked today. And I know it's like, oh, James, they won. And I love it. I love the fact that they won, and I love the fact that the defense played really good in this game. And we will talk about that a little bit later on in this video, don't you worry. But man, there were some dropped interceptions in this game. I counted 4. Now, you guys probably may have counted more. If I missed some, let me know down in the comment section below. But I counted that Levante David dropped 1, Carlton Davis dropped 1, and I believe Mike Edwards dropped 2, which sucks, but it is what it is. I just really wish they could have capitalized more on those interceptions, because a lot of them hit them right in the hands and they just flat out dropped them. And I believe even in the case of Levante David and Carlton Davis, they would have had pick 6s. So it sucked. I really wish they could have gotten more turnovers. Just everybody spread the turnover love. I mean, the Buccaneers did still get a couple of turnovers, but they could have had more, which I know is kind of like a nitpick, but I still would like to see the defense capitalize more on turnover opportunities when they are there. But still, overall, defense played a great game. And then finally, second to last thing I want to talk about, or the last thing I guess I want to talk about in terms of the negatives, is the turnovers from the offensive side of the ball today. And only 2 turnovers today, which I know only is a big thing, but only 2 turnovers today, and it happened in the first quarter, and then after that, boom, clean slate. It happened in 2 of the first 3 drives the Buccaneers had today. The 2 turnovers did, and then after that, it was smooth sailing ahead, So that was fine overall. The 2 turnovers were 2 interceptions by quarterback Jameis Winston. We will talk about him in a little bit as well. The Atlanta Falcons scored 7 points off of those turnovers, which, in the end, the Buccaneers still won the game. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again, turnovers are not a good thing. It gives the opposing team more chances to score with the football, and again, the more you limit your turnovers, the even better chance you have of winning a game. You take away those turnovers, you take away those 7 points from the Atlanta Falcons, it's an even, bigger win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of how many points they win by. So, yeah, again, the turnovers, again, thankfully the Buccaneers overcame the turnovers super early in this game and were really good throughout the remainder of the first quarter and just the rest of the game in general. But still, you'd like to see the communication be better, the throwing be better, the route running be better, better. You just want to see the offense as a whole limit their turnovers. Again, can't say this enough. Not all of it was Jameis Winston's fault. In fact, I think that both interceptions today weren't Jameis Winston's fault, and I can't stress that enough. But the offense as a whole just needs to get better at limiting turnovers in the offensive game plan. Now we can start talking about some of the good. I mean, Jesus, where do you start with this team? 35-22, super comfortable win. Let's just start by talking about the offensive side of the ball. First guy I want to talk about, Chris Godwin. He played so good in this game. Chris Godwin finished the game with 7 receptions, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is over 1,000 yards on the year. I believe he is at 60 catches, maybe 70 catches, I believe. So shout out to Chris Godwin. That's awesome. Mike Evans also got over 1,000 yards receiving in this game as well. And, Mike Evans, he is now one of 2 players in NFL history to have 6 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Him and Randy Moss, those are the only 2. I believe that's to start their careers. So, hey, Mike Evans, he is literally in Hall of Fame company. You guys know how much we love Mike Evans over here. Huge Mike Evans fan. So happy that he can have that milestone. I believe he is also one of the youngest players to reach that. I believe it's like 6,000, 7,000 yards. He is the youngest player to reach that milestone as well. So shout out to Mike Evans. That's absolutely awesome. He is now with Randy Moss as 2 of the only receivers in NFL history to start off their career with 6 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. And hey, just for an added bonus, Chris Godwin got 1,000 yards receiving as well. So shout out to them. That was absolutely awesome to see. Another guy who played pretty good in this game on the offensive side of the ball was Ronald Jones. Now, Ronald Jones finished the game with 15 touches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. This is the second time this year where Ronald Jones broke seemingly like 3 or 4 tackles in terms of just like being a spin cycle at the red zone and just walking right into the end zone. It was really cool touchdown to see. This is the second time he's done that type of touchdown this year, so hey, you love to see it. And while he didn't get an insane amount of touches, especially later on in the game, it seemed like Peyton Barber was getting more of the power run type of touches. But I'm still happy to see Ronald Jones score touchdowns and make some plays, not just as a running back but as a receiving back as well. That was really awesome to see. And then finally, last guy I want to talk about is quarterback Jameis Winston. He's finally going on the good list, guys. He finished the game with 18 of 28 passing, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 8 carries for 38 yards. Jameis Winston played great after the first 2 interceptions. I really can't say that enough. And like I said earlier on in this video, the 2 interceptions, in my opinion, weren't necessarily his fault. I think that, it was poor. It was just, I don't think that it was all his fault on the 2 interceptions, but after those 2 interceptions in the first quarter, he was lights out. He was absolutely phenomenal with his quarterback play. He was running the ball. He was passing the ball well. He was, making very smart decisions with the remainder of the game. He was finding his guys when he needed to. Just Jameis Winston looked pretty darn good in this game, minus those 2 interceptions that happened very early on in the game. So, hey, shout out to Jameis Winston. It's awesome to see him have a good game, kind of bounce back from having some ho-hum, not so great games. And yeah, happy to see the offense as a whole get really back on track in this game. Now we can start talking about the defense. Oh my gosh, this defense was absolutely insane. Let's just get started with the defensive line and the pass rushers. Where do you start? Where do you start? Shaq Barrett today, 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 5 quarterback hits. Honestly, guys, Shaq Barrett probably should have finished the game with 3 or 4 sacks. He was this close so many times in this game. He was just so freaking close to getting an opportunity to sack the quarterback. It was phenomenal to see. He did also have a forced fumble as well. I forgot to mention that. But Shaq Barrett continues to do Shaq Barrett things. Carl Nassib finished today with 1 tackle, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. Shout out to him. It was very interesting to see him and Shaq Barrett kind of rotate in for each other. That was, nice because both those guys were being very productive with the snaps that they were getting. Also, JPP finished the day with 1 tackle, 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, and 1 forced fumble. We will talk about the guy who recovered that fumble here in a little bit. But yeah, all 3 of the Buccaneers pass rushing linebackers played so so good in this game. It was crazy. They all just did some really good things, hitting Matt Ryan, sacking Matt Ryan, forcing Matt Ryan to fumble the ball. You name it, all three of those guys did it today. Seriously, like, shout out to Shaq Barrett, shout out to JPP, and shout out to Carl Nassib. It sucks so much that all three of these guys have an expiring contract at the end of this season. A lot of people talk to me about it in the live stream reaction, saying, oh, which one would you have out of all three of them? Because quite honestly, you know, it seems like the Buccaneers are probably only going to be able to keep one of them. My pick was Shaq Barrett, but hey, why don't you guys let me know down in the comment section below? Out of all three of those guys, Shaq Barrett, JPP, and Carl Nassib, why don't you guys let me know which one you would re-sign if you could only re-sign one out of the three of them, and let me know why, again, down in the comment section below. Next group of guys I want to talk about is the defensive line. Like, the defensive line also played a phenomenal game, guys. Ndamukong Suh finished the day with 4 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 touchdown. This is Ndamukong Suh's second defensive touchdown of the year. That's just awesome. You love to see that. I know Thomas Bassinger is going to be upset about that, and I would love to talk with him about that on Twitter, because I believe it was like with 3 minutes left, and, you know, the argument could be made that Suh should have just fell down so the Buccaneers could run out the clock and whatnot. But hey, he wanted to score a touchdown. Shout out to Ndamukong Suh, I guess. He did score a touchdown and get a fumble recovery, so that's awesome. But yeah, it was really cool for Suh to bounce back in the way that he did, especially since last week a lot of people were questioning him and his work ethic, myself included. No doubt about it. So to see him bounce back and have this type of game was really cool to see. I think that, at least in my opinion personally, we finally saw him kind of come alive a little bit as a pass rusher, and that could just be because the Falcons' offensive line isn't that good. But regardless, it was nice to see Ndamukong Suh get some stuff going in terms of a pass rusher. And the next guy I want to talk about, in my opinion, is my player of the game, Vita Vea. He finished with 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 pass deflection, 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for loss. Oh, and by the way, he had a receiving touchdown. Vita Vea had a receiving touchdown. Again, if you guys saw the live stream reaction, we freaked out in the live stream. It was so awesome to see. I'm sure I want somebody to clip that from the live stream and send it to me so I can upload it to my next video or something along those lines, because it was insane. It was awesome. Vita Vea, he's my player of the game. He played so freaking good in this game. He just continues to be one of the best defensive tackles in the league, in my opinion. And no, that's not me being overly optimistic. I think that is slowly but surely just becoming a straight fact at this point. Also, can't believe I didn't mention him when I was talking about the linebackers, but Devin White. Oh my God, Devin White had another phenomenal game. He finished with 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. Like, geez, Devin White just keeps on adding more and more amazing stats to his rookie season. I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, unfortunately, because Nick Bosa is there. But I really think that if Nick Bosa wasn't there, you could make a legitimate argument for Devin White being the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is playing so freaking good as of late. I know earlier in the year people were saying, oh, he's a bust because, he dinged up his knee. But since then, Jesus, he has bounced back. He has looked so freaking good the last stretch of games, and I can't wait to see how he finishes out the year. I am so excited for the future of Devin White. He is going to be so good for such a long time for this team, and I'm happy that all of us can be a part of the ride to watch him grow and develop as a player. Finally, guys, the last couple of guys that I want to mention are actually from the secondary. The secondary, I thought, played a really good game today, all things considered, especially, considering the fact that Julio Jones was out there, Calvin Ridley was out there. Those guys are no slouches, but oh my God, the Buccaneers secondary held up so well. Sean Murphy-Bunting finished the game with 9 tackles. I believe he led the team in tackles today. He didn't get any pass deflections or any other, flashy stats or anything like that, but still, solid game overall. He did have 7 solo tackles, so at least he was a sure tackler in this game. Also, Jamel Dean finished the game with 2 tackles and 5 pass deflections. That just continues the amazing streak that Jamel Dean has been having since back in that Seattle game, where he had a pretty rough game and then he bounced back against Arizona. And then since then, really, he's just been coming into his own as a player. I'm really excited to have him be one of our outside starting cornerbacks for the future of this team. I think he's going to be great. And then finally, last guy I want to mention is Carlton Davis, who finished the game with 5 tackles, 1 interception, and 5 passes defended. Carlton Davis is, you guys know how much I love Carlton Davis, you know, hashtag #1 cornerback in my mind, but I think today was a really, really awesome day for Carlton Davis. He got his first career interception. It took him, I believe, 22, 23 games to get there, so it took a while, but hey, it was worth it. He should have had another interception like I talked about in the dropped interceptions part of this video, but yeah, overall, you know, the offense did what it needed to do, had a pretty good game overall. The defense had a phenomenal game overall, just across the board from the defensive line to the linebackers to the cornerbacks. And then the secondary did struggle with field goal stuff along those lines, but I did think that their punting was still pretty good. You know, shout out to Bradley Pinion, shout out to Ryan Smith. Those guys just continue to, oh, and shout out to TJ Logan as well. Those guys just continue to carry the Buccaneers special teams unit. But yeah, pretty comfortable win, guys. You know, we just talked about Thanksgiving in the live stream, just hung out 35-22. Was really no worries in this game. It was weird. It was something that I think a lot of us haven't felt in a long time, and I'm happy that we could have all experienced it together. So yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed the Buccaneers win. I know I did. I'm going to be celebrating my victory Monday, and I hope you guys all will be as well. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. But until the next video or the next live stream, I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. And hey, go Bucs! A great win. Let's go.